Nothing gets resolved by a lockout. Nothing gets solved when people don't talk to each other. This community, the business community, you are suffering because of this. I was here 3 years ago and said fundamentally, come on, U.S. Steel, get to the table and open those gates. And I'm going to repeat that message today. I asked the political folks that are here today, and I know there's a couple that are going to speak soon, but I asked the politicians of all stripe and all parties at all levels to speak out and get the gates to this plant open. No personal request on your behalf can be more solid than the one I'm going to make right now. U.S. Steel, get the hell back to the bargaining table.
Mayor has always been a good friend of the local, and he's always stood by us before in the past and will stand by us again in the future. Also here to talk to us today is our local MP, Toby Barrett. Folks, Toby Barrett.
Well, thank you, Bill. Good afternoon, everybody. At least we've got a bit of a good breeze for the flags and the banners today. Provincially, this lockout has been the topic of discussion at Queen's Park, both in question period and during a special late show debate. I've had an opportunity to raise it a number of times. I've been asking the same questions that I asked during the last lockout. Regrettably, I'm getting the same answers. Government has not changed its approach. We've seen dramatic changes in your industry, particularly in the last 10 years. My concern, I am not seeing the flexibility in government. I don't see government essentially indicating that they've learned anything from what happened the last time. We've asked again and again about the mediator. We specifically asked for a job description for the mediator. What does he do beyond, a bit of the go-between between both sides? That information is not being divulged to us. I've had a number of discussions with the Ontario Labour Minister. His name is Yasser Nafik. He's responded to my questions. I've asked questions of the Premier. I've talked to Labour Minister Yasser a number of times about this, to ask him to go beyond the regulations that they have that seem to go back to the 1940s. I'm asking him to step up to the plate, kind of go that extra mile. I would like to see him come down here. I would like to see the Labour Minister talk to the company. I'd like to see the Labour Minister talk to the union. I've talked to the company. I've talked to the union, back and forth. We can book a room. We can get him down here. I've asked him, if need be, go to Pittsburgh, go to Washington, go down to Gary, Indiana. I've been down there. There's massive operation down there. And we've got, as you know, we got a setup here. Everybody's in the same company. You have a lockout or a strike or a layoff at this plant, it only benefits other operations within the same company. And that's not working on this side of the border. It's definitely not working for us. Our mayor made reference to the broader economic impact. As we know, 1,000 of you guys out, 1,000 steelworkers out, that directly affects 4,000 jobs. It indirectly affects another 9,000 jobs. You go up and down the value chain, whether it's iron ore, scrap, or coal, going out the other way with respect to trucking and engineering. Tremendous impact on this several 100-mile circuit between Nanticoke and Hamilton. And add to that, obviously, car dealerships, restaurants. There are an awful lot of people that are watching this situation. An awful lot of people are very worried about what's going on down here. So that's some of the stuff that I have explained to the Ontario legislature. Everything's been it's tape recorded and televised and typed up, and I've got copies of it. I've been handing it out around here today. I know Chris is with me today. He's handing out some of this stuff. The last thing I want to touch on, earlier this week I attended our local annual meeting, United Way. Topic of discussion, the oil refinery over here, OPG, coal plant shutting down the end of this year. You guys were locked out. That's a big hit for the United Way. Over the decades, people here have been tremendously generous in your contributions to the United Way. Now we're in these tough times, and I do ask you, just remember it's a two-way street. Do not be afraid to pick up the phone, ask for assistance. All of those agencies you have been supporting for so many years through the United Way, all the other government programs. I work on the provincial government programs. They're there for you. Believe it or not, we have government for a reason, and when you get in tough times, assistance is available. One reason I say that, I guess it was 20 years ago, I helped Stelco Steelworkers 87, 82 set up the Employee Assistance Program. When we set it up, that was the best employee assistance program in the province of Ontario. That kind of help is available. Keep an eye on your buddies. It may be somebody who's real quiet, maybe staying at home a lot. Just make sure that they are taking advantage of and making use of the help that's out there. Whether you want to ask for it or not, I just ask you to keep that in mind. Don't hesitate to ask for help. Ask for help through your union local here. Ask for help through my office. I got an office in Simcoe. I got one in Dunnville. I have really good staff that work on these kinds of government programs. The last thing I asked you, I hope this thing doesn't go on much longer. I need new material. I need your ideas. I need the kinds of questions, the kinds of things you want me to do. We go back to Queen's Park only for 2 more weeks, and then it finishes up for the summer. So I'm asking you, give me some information and put me to work on your behalf. Thank you very much. Thanks, Bill.